watched Neil Oliver's latest monologue on GB News yesterday, which was, as ever, refreshingly brilliant and insightful. And it got me thinking, you know, what is going on in the minds of the masses at the moment? What's going on in their hearts? How are they coping? How are they processing it? How are they dealing with the confusion and the turmoil? So yeah, Neil Oliver, someone who I've got the utmost respect for, not only for the way he has taken a stand against this tyranny of the last few years, but I also admire his ability to be able to stitch together a tapestry of words, of stories, of anecdotes, of imagery to demonstrate his points in the most articulate and creative way. He's a real wordsmith and a brave man. And after watching that, I thought, wow, he's just described perfectly in 10 minutes what it is that we're up against, and how so many are now in the position where, as he said, they need to think the unthinkable, and describes how people have been fooled. And there's two aspects to this, just to build on what he said, just my own take on it. What is thinking the unthinkable? Well, for me, thinking the unthinkable is acknowledging and recognising that true evil exists in this world, and that we are all at the behest of it, and that this evil has created a situation and has coerced everybody, well, not everybody, most people into believing that its intentions were good. It is an evil so insidious, so powerful, so despicable in its nature, that most people haven't even been able to see that it is just that, pure unadulterated evil. And the second element to it, following on, is not just that people have to think the unthinkable and acknowledge that evil stalks this world, but that they fell for it, or they didn't see it for what it was. In fact, many of them, many people, their perception of the evil that has struck was that it was actually a force for good. The lockdowns were a force for good, the masks were a force for good, the restrictions were a force for good, the jabs were a force for good. And that's only talking about the COVID situation. There's so much more as well. You know, it's interesting when you talk about, when you consider the truth, because like everything, there's always a contradictory way of viewing everything, and that includes the truth. For me, the truth is very, very difficult to define. I can't define it. I can try to describe what truth is, but the truth I don't know. That's why I always say it's easier to, a lie is very black and white, because a lie is something that doesn't have any element of truth to it. Not the truth, but it doesn't have any truth to it. So it's very overt, very stark, very obvious, and it's easier for people to coalesce around exposing a lie than it is to agree what the truth is, because what is the truth? But if we do try to analyse what the truth, or talk about what the truth might be, it's obviously a concept that has fascinated people throughout the ages. You know, mine's far superior to mine. You know, I'll probably take the rest of my life to try and figure out, well, what is the truth? But one take on it might be that because it's the truth, I think it was St. Augustine said, the truth does not need to be defended, just let it loose like a lion and it will defend itself. And I get that. But then Mark Twain said the truth has no defence against a fool determined to believe a lie. And I guess the situation that we're in at the moment is that I think we have a lot of people who can now see that they've been lied to, and we still have too many people, the fools, the real fools, utter fools, who at all costs and holding on for dear life to the lie will defend the lie because they've dedicated their whole existence to it. And then of course you've got the third group of people who are the ones who quickly identified the lie and the lies, and might not necessarily have been fighting for the truth. Some people might disagree with me that the truth is real, but they were fighting for truth, they were fighting for freedom, they were fighting for humanity, they were fighting for basic human rights. So I think what Neil Oliver was getting at is something that a lot of us are thinking, is that, well, what are these people thinking now? Particularly the ones who now understand they were victims of a hideous, malignant, evil lie. Particularly the ones who advocated strongly for the lockdowns, for the jabs, for the masks, who engaged in unacceptable and unforgivable coercement. You know, you're particularly talking about a lot of senior managers in places like the NHS. You're also talking about a lot of people maybe who've worked in care homes, in hospitals, who are forbidden family members for coming to see loved ones who are sick and who are dying. You know, it calls into question teachers who didn't stand up for the rights of the pupils to have a safe haven at school and to be taught an education, whatever an education is worth now. And on and on and on and on it goes. Something that doesn't keep me awake at night, but that I think about a lot, because I can sleep easy at night, but I think about it a lot, is how do these people sleep at night? How do they sleep at night? Are they sleeping at night? Probably not, actually. There's a lot of tired, weary looking people around, you know, heads bowed, listless, almost broken. And this is why I was always so passionate about right at the start of the first lockdowns, because I think once you start going down the rabbit hole and you start seeing that it was never just about COVID, it was never just about locking people down and jabbing them, it was always leading to other things as well. And of course we're seeing that once you hand control over to the state, then that's it. They will not give it back without a real fight. I was always so passionate about, well, this can end really, really quickly if people just talk and listen and just exchange ideas and see. You very, very quickly, even the most simplest of minds would have been able to, the most basic of minds would have been able to see, well, there's at least something not right about what we're not being told here. There's some lies embedded within this story. And that's all it would have taken. But of course, the longer and longer and longer it goes on, and we're now 2.5 years into this, the more difficult it becomes. And we're now entering, the more difficult it becomes to end it. We're now entering a period, this autumn and winter, where it's going to become exceptionally difficult. And we might be on the back foot now. Because once people are cold, and once people are tired, and once people are struggling to feed themselves and their families, are they going to be able to fight? Are they going to have the strength to fight? Well, you know, no is my answer to that. And these are a lot of the same people who haven't found it within themselves to even pay heed, pay attention, engage in discussions, have their ego challenged when, you know, a lot of them were getting free money, sat in the back garden, you know, during the lockdowns, the furlough, they've gone back to work, getting paid their full salaries, blah, blah, blah. So if these type of people who've demonstrated absolutely no value whatsoever to our fight are then going to end up in this position where they're really struggling financially, physically, and some of them might end up going hungry, as I say, then no, unfortunately, it may be too late. So what a shame that we do find ourselves in this position where we're going to have to write off a lot of people. Not only that, but the shock then when the scales really do fall from their eyes and they see, and then they're having to contend with not just the evil that they've succumbed to, not just the fact that they went along with it, but they went so long where they knew in their hearts that they should have done something and they still didn't. I don't know how they will process that, which is why it's important. That might sound negative, and that is negative. Why it's important for all of us to realise just what we've achieved, you know, just how strong we are. I've said it before and I'll say it again, it does only take a small minority of people to just remain resolute, remain strong, and even the weak ones will sweep behind us as we forge a new path forward. But it's worth considering what these people are actually now going through. You know, how are they sleeping at night? How are they dealing with the demons that must be in their heads? Every time they've got a minute to themselves, they might be stuck in a traffic jam, they might be trying to sleep in the middle of the night, they might be out on a walk trying to escape it all, and those demons in their head, and those demons are talking to them that you believe this. You acted as an agent of the state. You ridiculed those who were trying to save you, and look where we are now. There are those, as Mark Twain alluded to, who would rather die than ever admit they were wrong. And let's be honest now, there is no debate whatsoever. There isn't. I've not heard of a single. There's no debate whatsoever now that, at the very least, everything we were told by the media and government, big pharma, big tech, all the rest of them, was underpinned by a lie. No doubt at all. And I can provide literally thousands of examples now. The lie that has been told has been of such magnitude that as a society, how we get past that is our main challenge for the next 25 to 50 years. How do we reinvent society, improve society, recreate it, and at the same time by involving those who have been useless, who have done the bidding of evil in some cases, who have been cowards? Well, the answer is it's going to be left to a minority of people to forge the way forward, and that is the likes of us. You know, the ones who've shown strength in adversity. I've said many times before, I've fallen down, I've been punched down millions of times in the last few years. I really have. Keep getting back up, because there's one thing I won't do. I will not live according to somebody else's lie. I just won't do it. It's one thing I will not do. And I won't make peace with tyranny, ever. I won't negotiate with totalitarian authoritarians. And I don't care whether those authoritarians are petty lackeys working in the public sector or in local councils or NHS, or whether, you know, they are part of the Pfizer or World Economic Forum. No compromise. And it's that attitude, I think, that many of us have got. We come in all shapes and sizes. We cut across all religions and cultures and countries. And we're all united in that refusal to live a lie. We might all have different views on what truth is or the truth is, but none of us we're willing to die before we'll live this malignant, despicable, evil lie. So just keep that in mind, and I think it's worth thinking about what many of those around us are going through at the moment. It's their own fault. I don't have any sympathy for them anymore. I don't mean that in a nasty way, but I don't. It's gone way beyond that now. For the children, yes, absolutely 100%. That's why we do this, isn't it? But it's just interesting to put ourselves in their shoes, really, because I don't know how they are coping. I really don't, and I don't know how they're gonna forge their own path forward. But we are where we are, aren't we? It just shows the importance of, as I say, conversation, of respect for different views, and I've been able to temper the ego, I guess. But anyway, that's my video for today. Thanks to Neil Oliver for, you know, setting me on this trajectory, on this tangent for today's video. I'm looking forward to his next one. I'll speak to you all soon. Okay, bye bye.